Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am continuing on with my sports movie reviews. And now for my next review, this is going to be a review for Rookie of the Year. So, yeah, this is a film that I haven't really watched regularly, but I have watched occasionally over the years. Yeah, I have watched this film a number of times since I was a kid, but it's not something that I really have watched all the time. I haven't watched this film nearly as much as I have films like The Sandlot and stuff. Yeah. And as far as how this film is, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know if I really want to say this film is all right. I don't know if I really want to say it's dumb. I don't know if I really want to say it's decent. I just don't know because it just seems to be all over the place with this film. The premise of this film overall, it is pretty silly, but at the same time, there are quite a number of funny moments throughout the film, and and yeah, it does have its share of memorable moments in the film, but at the same time, just like I said, the premise is kind of silly and it's kind of dumb, and yeah, it just is oh, this film is just a very mixed bag of like funny moments and just dumb moments, and yeah, it just is it's just such a mixed bag. So I just really don't know about the film. The reception this film has, it doesn't really have really the best reception. On Rotten Tomatoes, this film only has a score of 35% on the tomato meter and a 52% audience score. And the consensus for the film is Rookie of the Year gets some laughs from its novel premise, but a high strikeout rate on jokes and sentimental fouls keep this comedy firmly in the minor leagues. And yeah, that is kind of how it comes off as. Because I'm yeah, if I'm sure just about all you do know the premise of this film. It's about a kid that is a little league baseball player, but then after he injures his arm, apparently the way his arm heals, apparently it is giving him extra power in it, and yeah, he just he has a very powerful throw, and so then after it catches the attention of the Chicago Cubs, they then end up recruiting him to join the team, and so then yeah, he does get into the major leagues and plays for the Cubs. So yeah, and yeah, just yeah, and really just that kind of premise is pretty silly with a young kid actually making it into the major leagues. Yeah, it just is really silly. I know that there have been some other films to have this kind of story. I know that there's the movie Like Mike from 2002 with Bow Wow, and that did have a story like that where he ended up like impressing the professional basketball team, and he is signed to a contract with the team and he plays on the team for the season, and that is pretty much the case here too, where like uh the kid ends up just impressing the team, and yeah, he does end up being recruited to be on the team. So yeah, so yeah, and yeah, and just yeah, like I said, that kind of a concept just seems real silly for a kid to actually be on a an actual pro sports team. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, this film overall, while it is pretty silly and yeah, it does sound kind of dumb, it does have some funny moments throughout the film, with the main uh character of the film, Henry Rowengartner, like he is just is very goofy, and just throughout the movie, when we see him playing, and he is he does goof around and just does toy around with opposing players. Here's and stuff there's that scene where he's where it's like the Cubs against the Dodgers, and he's just like taunting at a pitcher. Pitcher's got a big butt. Pitcher's got a big butt. Yeah, and there's like some other moments like that throughout the film as well. Yeah, yeah, and also like in this film, like the Henry does like end up like making like a big connection with the Cubs star pitcher Chet Steadman, who is like the who is like a he is like one of Henry's heroes, but it's also like this film does show that he's really aging and he is like really struggling with his pitches and he's just like really not doing very well this season. Yeah. Yeah, and so then in this film, like when Henry is recruited to be on the Cubs, he like pretty much takes over Stedman's position, and he's like the star player of the team. Yeah, and just and this film also does have like quite a few like cliches in here. Like it has like the like of course like he has like a single mother in this film, and yeah, she like has another boyfriend who is just like very power hungry and stuff, and he's the one that actually does um assign Henry to the Cubs, and then like he is like acting as Henry's manager, and he's just like making a bunch of decisions for Henry and just like schedule making a bunch of schedules for him and stuff, and yeah, you also do have like the general manager of the team that is like really just like going behind the team owner's back and just like trying to do like some stuff of behind the team owner's back, and then yeah, he does eventually end up getting like busted for it. Yeah, 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 and you do like have like stuff with like of course like the in this film like the Cubs are not a very good team, and like the Cubs really just isn't like really one of their best seasons. And then yeah, when Henry does come along, like the Cubs do like start to turn things around, and then of course they do end up making it to the championship at the end of the movie. So yeah, and it does have like some other cliches like that throughout the film as well. So yeah, so it does get like kind of tedious seeing like cliches like that being used in the film, and yeah, like I said, just the premise is silly, and there are some dumb moments throughout the film, but at the same time, there are like some funny moments throughout the film as well. So yeah, like I said, it's just a very mixed bag. So I don't really know whether or not I want to really say that this is a decent film, whether it's dumb, whether it's silly. I just don't know. I mean, I don't really think that this film really is like terrible or anything, but yeah, it's just like really like not all that great either. So yeah, I know. I mean, I guess like this film is just like really really hard for me to really like say like give like a real verdict on the film. So yeah, it's just like very mixed. I give it like a thumbs in the middle type of uh movie, and I just really don't know like what verdict I can really give the film. So yeah, so all I can really say is just like check this film out and make your own conclusion whether or not you think that this film is decent enough or if it's just too stupid for you. Yeah, because I can really see it going either way. All right, so I guess I would probably just give this film probably like around, I don't know, 2.25 stars out of 4, maybe 2.5. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, this film does like have a decent enough cast to it. Like this film has a Thomas Ian Nicholas. It has Gary Busey, Amy Morton, Dan Hendaya, Albert Hall, Eddie Bracken, Daniel Stern, and and cast like that. And yeah, this film was like under the direction of Daniel Stern as well. So yeah, I thought it was interesting how Daniel Stern was a director here. I mean, Marv from Home Alone is the director of the film. Yeah, and this film really does seem to kind of like have a John Hughes type of feel to it because, of course, like this film is in Chicago. Chicago, and yeah, and you do kind of like have like some actors from John Hughes movies in here, like of course like Daniel Stern, yeah, and John Candy is in this film as well as the the Cubs sportscaster. Yeah, and of course, like in this film, you also do have Eddie Bracken as the Cubs owner in this film. And yeah, Eddie Bracken did play a Mr. Duncan in Home Alone 2. So, yeah, kind of interesting that you do have like quite a few actors from that were in like some John Hughes movies in this film too. So yeah, but yet John Hughes, like as far as I know, John Hughes like did not work on this film. So yeah, so it's not a John Hughes movie, but it does like have that John Hughes feel to it. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. So yeah. So yeah, really. Oh, so yeah, so I just really don't know what else to say about it. So yeah, I guess I'll just like go through the premise of the film. So, like I said, in this film, just yeah, this really is not a very good season for the Chicago Cubs. Cubs, it was like they're like not playing very good, and of course, as I said, Chet Rocket Steadman, who's like the Cubs star pitcher, really is not pitching very well. Yeah, and then it shows that Henry Rowan is a little league baseball player, but he really is not very skilled. Yeah, it shows that like he's like sitting out for most games, but then when he does get put into the game, well, he does get put into a game at one point. Yeah, it shows that he just really doesn't play very good. Yeah, it showed that like at one point, like when there was a fly ball, like his cap just like was blocking his vision, so he couldn't find the ball. Oh, and yeah, and even then when he did get the ball, he just threw it like over the rails and stuff. So yeah, Henry just really was not very skilled at baseball. Yeah, and then the following day, just like several kids were just like I'm shunning him and just like teasing him about how he played. And then after one kid then like hit a ball into the air telling Henry to catch it, Henry then like went after the ball, but as he was like trying to catch it, he ended up like falling over and ended up breaking his arm. Yeah. And then then he of course like had his arm put in a cast, but then yeah, when the cast was removed, it was discovered that like Henry's tendons were like healing like a little too tight, as the doctor would say, and yeah, and apparently like it gave him like some really extra. It gave his arm like extra power. Yeah. And then after like Henry's mom Mary ended up like giving Henry and his two friends George and Clark tickets to a Cubs game after a home run ball all from the visiting team ended up being hit into the stands. And as like they were throwing the ball back into the arena, uh, Henry then like just threw the ball like very powerfully. He just actually ended up like throwing it like right back to the home plate, 435 feet away. And, yeah, and everyone was just like just in awe of Henry's throwing power. And so then the general manager of the Cubs, Larry Fisher, looked to recruit Henry for the Cubs due to like the Cubs really having a very declining attendance, and yeah, he was even like said that like if the Cubs really do not turn things around, the franchise is going to be sold. Until then, yeah, the team manager Sal Martinelina, Martinila. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the last name. Yeah, he visited Henry at his home and just discovered that Henry's pitches reach over 100 miles an hour. And so then, and yeah, Henry is then uh, given a contract to play for the Cubs. Yeah, and at first, just yeah, the rest of the team really like didn't really take Henry very seriously. He on the team, yeah, and even like we're told that Henry really did idolize Chet Steadman, aka Rocket was his nickname, but yeah, he was just telling Henry not to call him Rocket because he doesn't have the Rocket anymore. Yeah, 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 and yeah, like I said, Mary's uh boyfriend Jack was like acting as a Henry's manager and just like just handling all of his issues and stuff. Yeah, yeah. And then in Henry's first game on the team against the Mets, Henry was brought in as a relief pitcher, and at first, just yeah, his pitching really wasn't very good in the game. Like first he gave up a home run to one of the Mets players, Hedo, but yeah, he was able to get a save in the game, and then with Stedman's tutoring, and Henry was starting to improve. Yeah, though, yeah, it was kind of silly. Like there was like one part here where like the team was practicing, and Henry apparently like showed up late to practice, and then uh, Martin Nila, again, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm not really sure. Told him that because he was late, he was being fined $500. Like Henry is like around like 12 years old in this movie, so you're gonna fine a kid $500. So yeah, it's stuff like that that really is like pretty stupid in this film. Yeah, but yeah, and then but yeah, as time went on, like Henry ended up having another save against the Giants, and he also got his first MLB strikeout. Yeah, and then I won finally road game against the Dodgers, and Henry finally was like put at bat for the first time, and yeah, he just ended up like he didn't like do anything at the plate. He just ended up being walked. Yeah, but then yeah, like I said, like Henry was then just like taunting the pitcher while he was on base. Yeah, with like the pitcher's got a big butt, pitcher's got a big butt, yeah. And then, yeah, at one point he also said, "We want a pitcher, not an underwear snitcher." Okay, I mean, yeah, and on a side note, just what the hell is an underwear snitcher? Yeah, I mean, what the hell is that? Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Henry was able to like score a run in the game, yeah. And then as Henry fame was like starting to grow and he was becoming more successful, it was starting to put a strain in his personal life because yeah, George was like starting to grow like jealous of Henry. Yeah, and also at one point, Fisher was like talking with Jack, saying that the Cubs, yeah, the Yankees want to buy Henry's contract, and so then, yeah, Jack then like tricked Mary into signing a contract with to authorize like to join the Yankees, yeah, yeah, but then yeah, after like a just after a blowout between Henry and Jack, then Mary finally just broke up with Jack, and then yeah, as like Jack was arguing with Mary, Mary just ended up like punching Jack right in the face and just like throwing him out of the house. Yeah. And also, yeah, I guess I should mention that one of the reasons that Henry is like playing baseball was because like he's been told by his mother that his dad was also a baseball player before he died. Right, but then yeah, during this part where like Mary broke up with Jack, Henry then like revealed to his mom that he knows that his father had actually left Mary while she was pregnant with him because his grandma had told him when he was in the second grade. Hey, but yeah, he didn't say anything because he wanted someone to look up to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then yeah, Henry then like in over time then like resolved the conflict with George and also as Henry and Mary ended up going to the team owner Bob Carson about the Yankee contract situation. Uh, Carson like told him that they had never authorized a deal with the Yankees, and but yeah, Henry also did say that he would retire at the end of the season. But yeah, and because like yeah, Carson realized that Fisher had like gone behind his back to make that Yankee deal, and yeah, Fisher was demoted from the general manager of the team to just a simple hot dog salesman. Yeah, And then in the final game of the season, the Cubs were like facing the Mets again. Oh yeah, and I should also mention like during like because of like how good Henry was doing, and just that the fact that Stedman just like still like couldn't get his arm back. Uh, yeah, Fisher earlier on just told him that because like nobody just really wants to wait for the Rocket to come back anymore, that he was just going to be benched for the remainder of the season and then be released. But yeah, here like in the last game of the season and against the Cubs, then with Fisher gone, Stedman was like put in to start the game. Yeah. And yeah, Stedman was then able to find the rock and pitch real well in the game. But then, and at one point in the game, he just like blew out his arm or something, and just like wasn't really pitching very well. And then then he ended up tagging a runner out at home. His arm got just messed up so bad he just couldn't continue. And then yeah, Henry was then put into the game, and then Henry struck out the side, of course, in the seventh and the eighth innings. But then yeah, as the ninth inning approached, as Henry was like running out to the mound, he ended up like slipping on a baseball and just falling back over again. And yeah, and that fall ended up just putting his arm back to normal and just like healed it normally again. And so yeah, he didn't have the power in his arm anymore. Yeah. And so then yeah. So as the inning proceeded, yeah, it just showed that Henry just couldn't pitch the same anymore. And yeah, he just intentionally walked a player, and then he explained to the team that he can't throw good anymore. But yeah, he did come up with a plan that he told the rest of the team. And then it just showed them, like, throughout the inning, like, to get the first out, Henry ended up, like, sticking the ball to the first baseman and ended up, like, tagging the runner out when he stepped off the plate. Yeah. And then when Henry walked the next batter, then Henry then just, like, traded insults with the runner, and after the runner dared Henry to throw the ball high, Henry, like, like, seemingly did it, but as the runner took off, Henry tagged the runner to get the second out. But then, yeah, then it came down to the last out, and Henry had the showdown with Hedo again. And then, yeah, Henry then, like, the first pitch was a changeup that Hedo missed, and then the next one was a foul ball, and then, after then, Henry then opened up his glove. It then, like, revealed that there was his mom's name in the glove, and so then, yeah, this implied that, his mom was the baseball player before and not his dad, yeah. And then, yeah, Mary was sitting out in the stands, and yeah, she then just was advising Henry to throw a floater, which Henry did, and ended up striking out Hedo, and yeah, that gave the Cubs the division championship. Yeah, and then yeah, after the victory, yeah, the Cubs were all celebrating on the field, and then it just showed Hedo just like on the ground, just like throwing a fit about losing. Yeah, and it just showed like Mary looking at Henry, just telling her that she loved him, and then Henry threw the ball back at Mary's direction. But then, it then just like cut to like the following spring, where Henry was playing Little League again, and it showed him like catching in a home run ball, which his team won. And it showed that Mary and Stedman were Henry's Little League team coaches. And as the team was like celebrating their victory, it just then ended with like Henry raising his fist, and it revealed that he was wearing a Cubs World Series championship ring. So yeah, this was signifying that the Cubs did actually win the World Series that year. So yeah, and then that's how it ended. So yeah, so like I said, just the story is just like very really silly, and there are just like just some dumb moments through the in the film, but yet there's also some funny moments. So yeah, it's just like really all over the place with the film. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's really not all that good. Yeah, it just, yeah, like I said, all I can really say is just, yeah, check this movie out and just draw your own conclusion what you think of it. Because, yeah, it just has a very mixed reaction, and I can really see both sides of it. So, yeah, so like I said, just check the movie out and draw your own conclusion. Yeah, so like I said, around like 2.25 stars out of 4. Alright, so yeah, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. So this is it for my review of Rookie of the Year. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.